in the heart of a rugged mountain range, where the peaks touch the clouds and the valleys are draped in emerald mist, lived a young mountain goat named Elian. Elian was small for his age, with a coat as white as the winter snow and eyes that reflected the vastness of the sky. To the world, Elian was insignificant. To the predators that lurked in the jagged shadows, he was merely a meal. But Elian carried something within him that the other goats did not. An unwavering, quiet faith in the great shepherd of the mountains. One afternoon, while grazing on a treacherous ridge, a thick, unnatural fog rolled in. It swallowed the sun, turning day into a ghostly twilight. Elian found himself separated from his herd. The familiar bleats of his kin were replaced by the whistling wind and the rhythmic thud-thud of something heavy moving in the darkness. Suddenly, a low, guttural growl vibrated through the ground. Emerging from the mist was a massive mountain lion, its eyes glowing like amber coals. The lion was the embodiment of fear. It was larger than Elian, stronger than Elian, and its presence commanded total submission. Elian's heart hammered against his ribs. Every instinct told him to run, but on these narrow cliffs, running meant a plummet to certain death. Felt esmala. Felt alone. He felt the cold breath of uncertainty as the lion crouched, preparing to spring. Elian remembered the words of the elders. Fear is a liar that thrives on your perceived weakness, but your strength is not measured by your size. It is measured by who stands behind you. Instead of trembling, Elian closed his eyes for a brief moment. He didn't pray for the lion to disappear. He prayed for the courage to stand. He visualized the great shepherdess staff, a symbol of divine protection, forming a barrier between him and the predator. When he opened his eyes, the fear hadn't vanished, but Elian's reaction to it had changed. He stood till his small hooves firmly planted on the rock. He looked the lion directly in the eyes. The lion hissed, confused by the lack of terror in its prey. It stepped forward. But, as it did, the sun broke through a tiny crack in the clouds. The light hit Elian from behind, casting a shadow on the rock wall beside them. Because of the angle of the light and the way Elian stood in faith, his shadow did not look like a small goat. It stretched across the mountain face, transformed by the divine light into the silhouette of a mighty, celestial giant. The lion froze. In its eyes, the small goat was no longer alone. It saw the greater power that Elian trusted in. The predator, overwhelmed by a presence it could not explain, backed away into the shadows and vanished. Elian returned to his herd, not because he was the strongest, but because he refused to let fear dictate his identity. He realized that in the presence of the Lion of Judah, the lions of this world must bow. We all face mountain lions, be it debt, illness, loneliness, or anxiety. We feel small and surrounded. But the truth of this story is that fear loses its power the moment you stand in faith. You are never alone. The Creator of the universe stands in your shadow, turning your weakness into a testimony of His strength. When you stand in faith, the world doesn't see your smallness. It sees the greatness of the God who protects you.